Hey guys, it's Mary from the Renee Jones Empowerment Center, Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sitting here in my office and I'm looking out my window and I see snow. So I thought today would be perfect to talk about the anxiety because that's pretty much what we're dealing with, besides everything else. So, what is an anxiety disorder? Generalized anxiety disorder. That's where you are worried all the time. It's like an illness. It is an illness, and you're worried all the time. And though you have this constant worry, though there's little or nothing wrong. Do you ever hear the saying our parents used to say, you take a mountain out of a molehill? But that's kind of where it is with this anxiety disorder because you worry, you worry, you worry all the time, and it can somebody can say, "What are you worried about? That's really nothing to you, though it's real, right?" And that's what matters here. And you, like I said, you worry about your health, your work, and there's like an unspecified threat. Like somebody say, "What are you so worried about?" And you always say, "You know what? I'm not even sure what I'm worried about," and that's not abnormal. Symptoms can be severe, you guys. They can interfere with the daily living, and attempts to try to even avoid the anxiety leads to more anxiety, if that makes any sense. So, central nervous system are some of the body parts that can be involved: the central nervous system and the endocrine system. In fact, when you go see a physician, because you're going to get on the phone, call your physician, right? When you get on the phone and you have the physician, you call the physician has you come in. They're going to do some blood work. They may do a CAT scan depending on the severity. They may do an EKG. They're going to do definitely check your blood sugars, which goes and coincide with your blood work, just to make sure that everything is okay, because it can be other issues as well. So, signs and symptoms, what are they? Well, you have a feeling of impending doom, it never goes away. The constant worry about things that you can't, things that you have no control over, no matter how big or how small. Aches and pains for unknown reasons, feeling tired, unable to rest, the dry mouth, the increased heart rate. You can't focus, you can't concentrate, you forget things. You may be sweating, you could have some hot flashes. You're easily startled, excuse me, you're easily startled, or you're having trouble falling or staying asleep. And some people say, well, you know what, Mary, this kind of mimics PTSD, and you're absolutely right, it does. A lot of the PTSD is anxiety based because of what had happened, because of a traumatic event that happened. So, yeah, so you're going to have a lot of these symptoms overlap. It's most likely a combination of hereditary factors, environmental factors, such as childhood experiences and chemical disturbances in the brain. We talked about this too. Remember the norepinephrine, the serotonin, the dopamine. All these are chemicals in the brain that need to stay at a certain level. And when they come low, that's when we get depressed. We can get anxious, and many times depression will go hand in hand with anxiety disorder. So it increases with us females. Like I said earlier, stressful events or crises in one's life, a family history of anxiety disorders, like if your mom had anxiety disorder, your dad, mental illness, the panic disorder, the phobia, just being in a bad mood all the time, medical illness, chronic pain, asthma. Um, Chronic pain and asthma are usually what I see. Alcohol or substance abuse, lack of social connections, right? I.e., social interactions, certain personality factors such as being shy or a worrier. Now, my son is very shy, and it takes him a while to warm up to people, and that may come off as being standoff, but you're not. You're just shy. My daughter, on the other hand, is totally on the spectrum, and she will talk your ear off. Living in poverty, of course, a minority group, or immigrants, is particularly difficult. So your healthcare provider will ascertain what he or she's going to do, whether they want to see you, get you up with cognitive behavioral therapy, get you on some medications, just get some blood work done, and the possible complications are impaired social and work functioning. That you just can't. You're so worried all the time. You just can't function. You can't even get up out of bed. Depression, panic disorder, social phobias, and dependence on drugs and alcohol. What do we do? What do we turn to? We turn to drugs and alcohol. Why? Because it temporarily takes away that pain, right? And allows us to function and feel better about ourselves or about other things. Unfortunately, as we all know, it doesn't last very long, and you're right back to where you were. So, what do you want to do, guys? After you talk to your physician, you want to talk to a friend, reach out to a friend. I know I say this all the time, but that is so important, having one good friend you can turn to who doesn't mind you talking, 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 talking. Because I said before, stuffing it down is not a good thing. So when you talk about it and talk about it, keep a journal. Keep a journal about your feelings and about your worries and about your concerns. Some of my victims would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be so overwhelmed with a fear that they would write it down. And like I said before in other videos, this is your feelings, not anybody else. It's your journal. You write it any way you want, okay? And don't worry about that. Joining a self-help group, learning relaxation techniques, yoga and meditation. And you can also call the National Institute of Mental Health. And I want to give you this number, okay? It's 866 615 6464. 866-615-6464, and they can actually help talk you through this anxiety disorder that you feel that you have, and they'll kind of walk you through it, the signs and symptoms, and there's a good voice on the other end of that phone. Okay, stay active, right? Physical exertion helps reduce anxiety, especially when you get really tired, because you're exerting so much, you're just tired, and all you want to do is sleep, and you usually can get into a nice restful sleep. No special diet except avoid the caffeine and other stimulants and alcohol. And I know it's been sad lately, you guys, because we've talked about anxiety, we talked about depression, we've talked about the COVID-19, PTSD. So we are going to get some happier subjects. I promise you. So for right now, let's just hang in there. Leave your comments, any concerns, any complaints, anything like that. Leave them on the website. I do take those seriously. And until we talk again, stay home and stay healthy. Bye.